Okay, let's talk about a word you think you know inside and out. The word tail. Seems simple, right? We use it all the time. But what if I told you that this one little word, it actually holds this incredible secret about language, and maybe even a way to make it simpler for, well, for everyone? We've got to dig into this.
So right away, the first thing you notice is that tail isn't just one thing. It's kind of working a double shift.
So you've got the noun, right? The most obvious one. It's the thing on the back of an animal. You know, the dog wags his tail. Easy. But then it does this complete 180 and becomes an action. It's a verb, like a detective who has to tail a suspect. So follow them, but secretly. Just with those two examples, you can see this word is already way more flexible than you might have thought. Okay, but wait, it gets even trickier. The plot thickens, you could say, because it's not just about the different meanings of the word. It's also about how it sounds.
Yep. Our word tail has a sound-alike twin, tale. You know, T-A-L-E, like a bedtime story. That's what we call a homophone. They sound exactly the same, but mean totally different things and are spelled differently. This just throws another wrench in the works. Or maybe it just makes the language a little richer. Depends on how you look at it.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got a noun, a verb, and a homophone all squeezed into this one tiny four-letter word. It makes you wonder, right, when the experts, the linguists, try to put this word in a box, where does it even go? And what can we learn from how they label it?
All right, so when you actually look up how it's categorized, you see the stuff we expect. Yep, it's a noun, check. It's a verb, check. It's listed as a term with homophones, check. But then there's this fourth thing on the list that just sticks out, B850. And you're just like, what in the world is that? Yeah, exactly. What is B850? It's not a term you hear every day. It honestly looks like some kind of secret code. You start wondering, is that a typo? Did someone mess up? Or is this the clue that unlocks the whole mystery? Well, it turns out the answer was right there under our noses the whole time, hiding in plain sight. There's this little note way at the top of the source material, and it cracks this whole thing wide open. And boom, there it is, BE850. It stands for Basic English 850. This means the word tail wasn't just any old word. It was handpicked. It was chosen to be part of this very special, very exclusive list. All right, so we have to unpack this because this is the moment where we go from just looking at one word to talking about this huge, brilliant idea about how people all over the world can communicate. So what is Basic English? That number, 850, that's everything. It's the biggest clue. Basic English is an entire system, a whole way of communicating, built using only 850 words. That's it, just 850. The best way to think about it is like a super streamlined version of English. The whole point was to create a version of the language that was simple enough for anyone to pick up fast, but was still powerful enough to talk about big ideas. You know, for international business, science, that kind of thing. It's like taking the entire English language and boiling it down to just its most essential, powerful parts. And this brings us right back to tail, because it's the perfect example of why this system works. A word only makes it onto this special list if it's an absolute workhorse. Tail covers a really common thing, that's the noun, and it covers a really clear, simple action, that's the verb. That flexibility, that's its superpower. It lets this one little word do the job of a whole bunch of other, more complicated words. Okay, so let's pull the camera back for a second. This whole thing isn't really just about the word tail anymore, is it? It's about this pretty radical idea, the idea that sometimes less is actually more. I mean, just look at the sheer difference here. On one hand, you have the full English language, with over 170,000 words that are in active use. And then you have Basic English with just 850. That huge reduction isn't just for fun. It was designed with a purpose, to tear down the walls that make communication so hard. And that's really the heart of it. That's why this matters. It's this incredible experiment, really. It's about trying to engineer a better tool for everyone to talk to each other. By picking these super simple but powerful words like our friend tail, the system gives people a solid starting point, a foundation to express pretty much any core idea no matter what language they grew up speaking. So, all of this leaves us with one last pretty big question, doesn't it? We started with one simple word, tail, and discovered that a small, carefully chosen set of words can pack a serious punch. So here's the thought I want to leave you with.
Could a system built on just 850 of these powerhouse words, could it actually change the world? Could it change how we all connect and understand each other? It's a pretty wild idea to think about.